In the last video, we've explored the option of doing backend in the cloud. In this video, we'll explore a few options for those that like to build their own backend. Please keep in mind this is simply an overview of some of the options and in no way a tutorial on how to build or use some of the backend options mentioned. As I go through the frameworks and library, and if you plan on building a backend, I'll show you where to get more information. So let's get started. The first place you want to go to is mern.io. So as you can see, this is built on Mongo, Express, React, and Node. And on top of that, you have Redux and Webpack that comes with it. So if you built React applications in the past, and obviously this is a React Native course, then I would assume that you would want to use this, and you would be right. So this is completely built on React, or components built on React. The code looks like React. So if you want to build on React, this is the first backend you would consider. The second backend, and if you have a background on Angular code, then this is the same thing, the exact same thing as the other one that we've looked at, MongoDB, Express, Angular, and Node. So basically, this is Angular code, and you would use this one if you're familiar with Angular. Next is Meteor. So if you followed my last course, which is basically React and Meteor, you would have known that I usually build my applications with Meteor when I need a backend or use something like Node or Firebase. So Meteor is very easy to use. It's very easy to learn. So if you guys want to use something that you don't have to spend hours on learning, then Meteor is a good option for you as well. Again, it's all about your prior experience. So always use that first. For example, if you have Angular experience, go for Mean. If you have React experience, go for Mern. If you have none of those, then maybe Meteor is a good option for you. Obviously, there are people that like to build their stuff themselves. They have a Lego background. They like to build blocks by blocks. Node is the way to go if you like to build your own backend block by block. So if you don't like the fact that Mongo is used on all three of these backends, then you may want to build your own backend starting with Node and then add, for example, SQL or any other database and then continue building with Express and so on and so forth. So this is for those that like to build their own stuff from start. Last but not least, this is not a backend. So Yeoman is basically a scaffolding tool for you. So what it does, it basically generates a project with all the pieces already pre-made for you and some of the code already in there. And usually that's someone that's built a project generator for you. If you look at discovering generators, you'll see that there's tons and tons and tons of boilerplate projects that are ready to go. And if you click on any of them, so for example, if we click on Angular Full Stack, this is a Mean project like the one that we were looking at earlier with a few other things in there. And you can take a look at what the details of that specific stack is. And then obviously once you have Yeoman installed, then you can literally do Yo Angular Full Stack and it will create in that particular directory the project for you. And that's basically what this tool is. The cool thing about it is you can probably find a generator for React Native or React. So for example, if we do a search for React Native, then you see that there's a couple of generators in there that you could use to get started on a React Native project. So in the next video, we'll look at the testing library Jest. See you in a bit.